The thing that makes the Motorola Moto G5 Plus the best budget phone on the planet is that, for the most part, it does not feel like one at all. It looks, feels and operates like a much pricier phone, which means that wallet watchers are getting a great deal. This is just Moto continuing its trend of providing more features than other and inexpensive Android phones. This year's model improves on last year's Moto G4 Plus with a modern metal body, more storage, Android 7.0 Nougat, Google Assistant, new Moto gestures, NFC, a really good camera and 4K video, all while remaining delightfully affordable. But this generation of Moto G family also includes the slightly cheaper Moto G5. Both phones have similar metal body design, but the G5 has a smaller screen, half the storage and a weaker processor. The G5 is not offered everywhere. For example, it will not be sold in the US. But even if it were, the G5 Plus would have been a better value. Now, there are lots of models to choose from. You get the 32GB and 3GB of RAM, 32GB and 2GB of RAM. You also get a 4GB and 64GB of storage. Now, since the G5 Plus is a universally unlocked phone, it will work on all major US and UK carriers. It's worth checking compatibility with your carrier if you are unsure. The dual SIM option on Moto G5 Plus is only available in select regions globally in Latin America, Europe and Asia. Now, I will talk about a few features that make the Moto G5 Plus unique for its price. The magic touch of one-button navigation. One of my favorite features is the G5 Plus's fingerprint sensor. It's on the front below the display and works as well as Apple's Touch ID on the iPhone. But Motorola did something really cool. It added a handful of shortcut gestures that turned the fingerprint sensor into a mini touchpad. One feature that is called the one-button nav. Once you turn it on in the Moto app, tapping the fingerprint sensor brings you home. If you swipe left, it shows you recent apps. If you swipe right, it goes back. If you long press, you lock the phone, and if you tap and hold, Google Assistant pops up. It's all quite easy and intuitive, and I like that it did not take any extra moves reaching for separate on-screen buttons. In fact, according to many other users, after using the Moto G5 Plus, it was difficult not to instinctively try Moto shortcut on other phones. Now, the performance. Well, the Moto G5 Plus has a 2 GHz octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 625, which is also inside the Moto G Play. Now, these numbers are taken from the CNET, so their review in it had a 4 GB of RAM. The G5 Plus supports both 2.4 GHz plus 5 GHz band Wi-Fi. In use, the phone was fast and responsive. The camera was peppy, playing games like Super Mario Run was smooth, and social media apps like Instagram and Snapchat worked without a hiccup, even when adding filters. The battery lasted for 13 hours and 22 minutes in their looped video battery drain test. 2 minutes longer than the last year's Moto G4 and 1 minute longer than the new premium LG G6. Now, the camera, well, the camera is a good camera with a dark side. The camera uses a 12 megapixel sensor, smaller to the one in the Samsung Galaxy S7 and S8. It's a dual pixel sensor if you're following along, that makes autofocusing fast and accurate. In most situations, people got good sharp photos, but in darker locales, for example inside a bar, the autofocus slowed and people started seeing a lot of noise in their pics. Low light photography is always a challenge, which is one reason why Apple and Samsung have optical image stabilization built into their flagship phones. The Moto G5 Plus doesn't. Overall image quality is still really good compared to other entry-level and mid-range phones. Video on the Moto G5 Plus is also good. Digital stabilization helps smooth out small shakes, and you have the option to shoot either HD or 4K video, both with nice results. The camera defaults to HD video. The 5 megapixel selfie camera has a wide angle lens with beauty mode that smooths your features and hides blemishes. If you're into such things, then this is a typical on Android phones. The pics are nice and skin never looked so young. Well, there are also some times when it feels like a budget phone. The Moto G5 Plus does a good job overall, but there are places where the trade-off between price and feature shows. Now let's add some shortcomings. Well, the US version does not have NFC, but the UK version does. The UK version only comes in 32 GB of storage and 3 GB of RAM instead of 64 GB of storage and 4 GB of RAM. Music and audio over the G5 Plus's built-in speaker sound thin and tiny. Now, there is no optical image stabilization or OIS for the camera, which would really help in low light. The display worked well indoors and in direct sunlight, but the adaptive brightness seemed to make the screen too bright inside, so many people found themselves disabling the feature. Now, let's compare Moto G5 Plus versus other phones. Well, there are many other competitors for the price. With the G5 Plus, there are the Honor 6X and the Nokia 6, which may not be sold in Australia, but on paper 6X gives the G5 Plus a run for its money. But well, Moto G5 Plus is a winner if you are a stock Android lover, because Motorola has that locked down. Well, now for the verdict. Well, there's some good and there's some bad. The splash-resistant Moto G5 Plus has a near-stock version of Android Nougat, a good camera and video, a metal build, and it's extremely kind to your wallet. And the bad? There's no NFC on the US model and the audio sounds tinny through the built-in speaker. The bottom line, with a long list of features you want and only a few that you do not, there is no better budget phone than the Motorola's Moto G5 Plus. This was it for today, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. If you guys did, don't forget to leave a like. And please remember to leave your suggestions in the comment below and let me know what you want to see next. As always, thanks for watching. Be safe, be savage.